will never have any pity for any soldiers. The U.S. military, I hope you get PTSD.
You, on one hand, are going to try to morally grandstand about Ludwig being a cracker because he doesn't care enough about the lives of Palestinians, yet you do not care about the lives of soldiers for the United States. You disregard the opinions of white people and are actively racist to this group of people. You dehumanize and disregarding the lives of many people, but you want people to respect the lives that you support. So you think it's fine to dehumanize people, but only certain people. It's an arbitrary nonsense moral compass. How this streamer became hated. It's Frogan. The US military deserve PTSD. We are, of course, talking about Hijabba the Hutt. PTSD. I think I heard some acronym. What is this one here? Pizza, tacos, soda, donuts. Sounds about right.
Ethan Klein has been in an ongoing feud with Hassan Arby and his community. A feud that has gone to extreme lengths, such as Hassan getting an over hour-long exposed video made on him, Ethan Klein getting falsely investigated by Child Protective Services, and even iDubbbz getting involved. Throughout this ongoing drama, multiple small creators have found themselves pulled into the conflict, one of the most notable being Twitch streamer
Small creator?
Frogan. Prior to being a Twitch streamer, Frogan was a public health scientist, though quit her job to stream on Twitch full-time.
There's no way that's true. She was a public health scientist. Actually, I can believe that because if you look at all of the health officials in our government, they're all just so morbidly unhealthy. Besides maybe RFK, he's got good biceps, no homo. But there was like the Rachel Levine person who, the Secretary of Health. I gotta look this up. Hold on a second. You guys know who I'm talking about. The former Assistant Secretary of Health of the United States Department of Health and Human Services. Dude, that's so crazy. Look up Rachel Levine. I don't even know if I can show this on stream. This looks like it's like triggering. Look at this. Yeah, this was the Secretary of Health. I think this was like a morbidly obese transgender individual who we were supposed to look up to in terms of taking information about health. Huh.
Time in 2022, and since then has become one of the most hated Twitch streamers. But why? Frogan got her start in the Hassan Arby community, eventually becoming a moderator for Hassan's Discord server.
Well, really not helping the stereotypes about moderators. Now, all my moderators are shredded with great bodies, well-paying jobs, you know, long-lasting, good lives ahead of them, but I don't know about this. This is not the same.
One of the major controversies Frogan first landed in was against Twitch streamer Mizkif.
Okay.
In 2023, Frogan was nominated a second time for the Rising Star Award at the Streamy Awards. Mizkif was one day live and questioned why Frogan had been nominated twice, making a joke that she should have been nominated for a Falling Star Award instead, something Frogan did not find funny.
Prince, Live, and Frogan. Frogan was there last year. How are you a rising star twice?
Yeah, I feel like you have to actually rise after being the rising star. Like, isn't that the whole point? That by getting this award, you're now making a prediction that this person will succeed? We're gonna give you the award now, so that way when you blow up and you pop off, we can say that we were right, which gives our award show some legitimacy, which makes these awards have any fucking meaning, you know? It makes this whole thing a bunch of crap. The streamer awards are low-key just a circle jerk of people who are already friends off camera and on camera in most cases. So if you have a lot of viewers, but you're not part of the community, then you're not invited, which is just so lame. Like, I feel like it should just be about the amount of viewers you're getting and how large your community is, not if you're just in the club, not part of the like sort of elite LA circle of streamers. I feel like that just ruins the credibility of the show.
A Falling Star Award? Bro, that'd be so funny. I would clear.
Honestly, okay, it makes me really upset. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to cry, but it really does make me really upset.
Frogan's reaction to Mizkif's lighthearted joke was nothing short of
oh my goodness. Look, I don't want to be mean. Like, I understand being upset about it, but the reality is what he said was really not that deep. Like, especially compared to the climate now, like after all the comments she's made about veterans and the hot water she's caught herself in, this is not even like a controversy. This is the streamer awards fault, not yours. They decided to give you a position that should have been given to someone more deserving. It's not like your fault, right? And it's not even that serious. This isn't even a criticism of you. Wait till they find out who you are as a person. Then you're gonna really hear some shots.
Embarrassing and immature. At 26 years old, she struggled to handle a completely harmless joke. Ironically, she went on to win the...
And then also, it's someone who's gonna be offended at a joke like that, but then say things 10 times more offensive and act like she's doing nothing wrong and perpetually play the victim whenever her ridiculously inflammatory comments are criticized. Huh.
Rising Star Award, but her
Glass cannon,
response
perhaps.
certainly gave off an air of entitlement. Moving forward to late 2023, before Hassan became enemies with Ethan Klein, the two hosted a show called The Leftovers.
Getting called a falling star, I'm gonna cry. Saying U.S. veterans, I can't speak, military deserves PTSD. You better not be crying at that. I mean, I'm crying, my hair's fucked up, right? That's a good reason to cry. I don't know about being called a falling star.
And because Frogan was associated with Hassan, Ethan knew who she was. The Leftovers show then ended after a disagreement between Hassan and Ethan regarding differing perspectives on Israel's political future. Prior to the show ending on October 7th, Israel was attacked by Hamas. Whilst this was happening, Frogan tweeted, "Leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of a revolution happening in America, but as soon as it happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong." Ethan Klein unfollowed Frogan shortly after she made this tweet, his reasoning being, "People are talking about me unfollowing Frogan, so I'll explain why, since she wants to talk about it. Murdering children and burning families alive in their safe houses is not a revolution, it's a massacre, and if you think that's what a revolution is supposed to look like, I'm terrified for your idea of an American revolution."
Okay, so I think what he's saying is like fine, but in general, I don't know if you should respond to people who are asking questions about why you unfollowed someone on Twitter. This is a little too much. This is a little too terminally online, you know, a little too TI. I don't know if I would get this much into the mud, you know. Sure, a comment on why you unfollowed Frogan on Twitter. Are we in middle school? Is this really something we're doing? Like, are you gonna swipe up with the TBH plus rate next? Comment on my profile and I'll tell you what I think about you. Like, this is actually just really juvenile, you know. This is some TMZ level like internet bullshit. I mean, I get that he actually cares enough to respond, and so I'm not going to criticize him because it's about a serious topic. But I think in general, giving people like what they want when they're asking stupid questions incentivizes them to ask even like stupider questions in the future.
Frogan then had a meltdown on her Discord server, accusing Ethan of unfollowing her due to her being pro.
Holy fuck, man. Ethan Prob was like, damn, this Arab supports Hamas. Yeah, victim card activated.
Palestinian. Fast forward to May 2024, Hassan and several other content creators promoted a charity to raise money for Palestinian children. A Twitch streamer named Ludwig one day announced on his stream that he did not want to be directly involved with the charity, but it still donated $10,000 to a
How on earth did this guy get sponsored by Red Bull? Holy shit, dude. I need to get some more sponsors, man. I need to get a Red Bull on my shirt and my background. I need some giant ass brand behind me at all times, you know? Holy.
Palestinian cause.
Also, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen, there's quite a few creators. I know Jarvis, Eddie Burback, I think Hassan. There's a bunch of creators who are doing a charity stream for, I think it's the PCRF, Palestinian Children's Refugee Fund. I want to say that's right. I didn't join it because I find ultimately, like, if I were to do a charity thing where the charity thing relies on your donations, it should be something where like 95% of people feel good and are down for it. And like ultimately, regardless of what you think, that is not the situation here.
Look at this. Cause you don't care. Cause you don't care. Why would he even talk about this? He knows how radically involved people are online with this stuff, that they care so much to ask why someone unfollowed someone else because they theorized that it had to do with this conflict. Dude, this is a lose-lose game when you talk about this shit, okay? I'm not talking about it because I don't know about it. I don't actually know what is happening. I don't follow the news of this stuff, okay? I'm not very, I don't even think I have news on my TV, okay? Not what I watch, not what I'm involved in. That's it. I don't need to explain myself or justify it to anybody who's curious. If they want answers, they can suck my dick, okay? Keep asking questions that I'm not going to answer because I don't have an answer for you. And Ludwig needs to stop trying to pander. He panders so much to his audience that it's just so sad. He literally is asking these people in the calmest way possible, where he's sort of implying that, hey, with the reality of this fundraiser, it is something that is more controversial than raising money for cancer or Alzheimer's. You know, it's an ongoing geopolitical conflict where there is nuance and things that are gonna be disagreed upon by members of my audience. And so I personally will not be doing a fundraiser for this. End of story. And if people are not happy with that, fuck them. Fuck them. And honestly, like, all things considered, I think what I've been shown with the rise of these radical streamers like Frogan, like Hassan, all these people who are being put on the front page of Twitch and who are not being banned and are given preferential treatment, they're so much worse than Ludwig ever was. And if I had known how bad people would have gotten with especially the just ridiculous claims that are being made, you know, the daily slander of other creators by these people calling their political adversaries pedophiles and rapists, if I had known how common and that would become, I would have given Ludwig, literally, I would have been like, you're fine, bro. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep making your normie content. It's fine. But the one thing that I still stand on is that out of all of his flaws, maybe, you know, I don't know all of his flaws, but the most prevalent and damaging one is his lack of a backbone. The reason that he stopped doing Mogul Mail is because he realized most of the drama that was happening online had to do with his friend Hassan being a fucking retard, and he had to run cover for Hassan constantly, and got kind of tiresome. And so, yeah, I don't even hate him that much. I honestly think and maybe that's just because I hate other people more, and they've shown to be much worse actors than he ever was, which is probably true, but he needs a spine. He needs a backbone. He needs to stand up for himself, and I hope he does that.
So I personally donated 10K because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean?
This livestream caught the eyes of Frogan, who
Holy
reacted to the
shit.
clip whilst live and for some reason decided to racially insult Ludwig by continuously calling him a cracker.
No thanks. And some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
And this is the point where you either have to decide that you're not going to be treated this way and are going to be told that you're a cracker, and you tell someone like Frogan to shut the fuck up and stay in her lane, or you just don't talk about this stuff, right? Because if you're going to talk about this stuff and get backlash, you got to get ready to stand up and tell these people to fuck off, right? Like, seriously, like, fuck off. Fuck off. I gave $10,000. My money is green. Okay, it's accepted, it works, it's going toward your cause, and you still have a problem. You either rescind that donation because that person is on your fucking case for not giving enough. How about nothing? And then you're gonna realize, oh, maybe $10,000 wasn't so bad after all. You know, it's one or the other. Either you are silent about this and whatever, you know, no one says a peep, or you're gonna stand up for yourself when people are giving you backlash and giving you shit for something like this.
Difference between like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a debate about whether that's worthwhile.
Frogan next, for some reason, ranted about how YouTube and Twitch creators weren't talking about the war in Gaza.
Thinking about it, like, think of the Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine. Think about the Twitch streamers that haven't, or like streamers in general. We're gonna go to
Twitch is a gaming live stream platform, by the way. It's been overrun with politics in the past few years, but it is meant for gaming, and I don't know why you would force a standard that encourages and demands people to speak on a conflict that they do not have education about, or is not of their primary interest to speak about in any sort of way.
YouTube.
Like, why would you ever ask someone to go against their own interest and neuter themselves? Hey, can you do a humiliation ritual where you pretend to have knowledge on a certain conflict in order to be a performative activist / ally because I said so? What? Think about the streamers who are trying to gain followers and money by glorifying a war that has nothing to do with them. That is another thing. You are also taking things where other people are losing their lives and oftentimes making it about you, because it is for you, all this is, like, for people like Frogan, I seriously think all this is a weapon to shame other people, to hold people and morally condemn them for clicks. Because there is no actual chance, and if this is what she truly believes, then she needs to go to a doctor, that she truly in her heart of hearts thinks Ludwig is not, like, on her side. I feel like she's just saying this to hoist moral culpability onto someone for clicks, and to enrage her chat for clicks. That seems like what it is.
as well. YouTube and Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine until engagement was threatened.
I mean, do we really need to hear what creators like Mr. Beast have to say about real-world conflicts?
Like what?
No one should feel pressured to speak on issues they don't fully understand or aren't qualified to address, especially influencers. Frogan received backlash for this unhinged rant, prompting her to address the situation on a livestream, where she doubled down, arguing that her comments on Ludwig were not racist.
Like, you saw the clip, and I literally tweeted, okay? I didn't say racist. Cracker isn't racist! It's not racist! Are you guys stupid? Oh my god! If you get your feelings hurt by Cracker, then you know what? Like, literally go back to, like, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
It's interesting how the idea of racism toward white people.
If you got your feelings hurt by a Cracker, you are stupid and you are sensitive. Meanwhile, she is literally getting the waterworks out because Mizkiv said it's odd she was nominated for Rising Streamer of the Year twice in a row. A racial slur? Why are you being so sensitive? A question about why she was nominated twice for something that you can only be nominated once for? Heartbreaking. Devastating. World and soul crushing.
Who seems to completely
Her voice is so goddamn irritating. Hey, don't be so mean, dude.
disappear in Frogan's mind. Newsflash, Frogan, if you're targeting a race
When a white person, by the way, says newsflash, you better listen up. This guy's about to spit some fire.
with hate,
Newsflash, buddy, let's listen.
completely disappear in Frogan's mind. Newsflash, Frogan, if you're targeting a race with hate, that's literally the definition of racism. Funnily enough, this isn't the first time Frogan's ranted about white people before. White people are so insane, I wish I was as smooth-brained as people on this website. I'm gonna start asking white people if they condemn every mass shooting that ever happens. Unfortunately, Frogan's unhinged rants would continue and worsen in the future. October 2024, while streaming, Frogan went on a rant about the US military, which quickly led to significant backlash.
I will never have any pity for any soldiers. The U.S. military? Who who? I hope you get PTSD. I do, the ones I do,
And it's so insane to me, right? Like, you on one hand are going to try to morally grandstand about Ludwig being a cracker because he doesn't care enough about the lives of Palestinians, yet you do not care about the lives of soldiers for the United States. You disregard the opinions of white people and are actively racist to this group of people. So you dehumanize and disrespect and are disregarding the lives of many people, but you want people to respect the lives of people that you support. So you think it's fine to dehumanize people, but only certain people. It's an arbitrary nonsense moral compass.
the ones I'm like whatever about the U.S. soldiers are the ones that like acknowledge that like what they did was wrong. They did.
Like, it literally makes no sense. It's be humanizing and respectful to humans, right? That's how you should behave, except these humans. It's just Frogan's guide to morality.
Didn't know well back. They didn't know back then. Whatever. You're a good person in my book. But like any other motherfucker, you're joining them. You're like, oh my god, I want my Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD, and I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into America.
As a political streamer, it's important to be mindful and respectful when discussing sensitive topics. However, the problem with Frogan is she often speaks impulsively, blurting out controversial statements without even thinking. Frogan next worsened the backlash by doubling down on her statement in her next live stream.
And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into America. And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base? Base? Like, am I supposed to be like, I'm not walking back on it. I still fucking agree with it. Base?
The backlash
And then she had the audacity to go on and say that I already apologized for it. Okay, after you doubled down? So you had time to think about it, said it was fine, and that you thought it was based, but now you're supposed to, like, be, no, guys, I already walked it back. I already said sorry. Oh, so you said sorry after you doubled down on it and had time to think about it and reacted to it. So I'm confused. And you want to talk about opportunism? These people only care about Palestine now that their reputation is threatened. I was like, you only cared about remedying your comments on military and veterans after it got widespread enough to the point where your livelihood was threatened. Very fucking interesting. I don't have any respect for her. I understand where you're coming from when you say that. And I think a lot of people feel that way. I think the bigger issue is not with her as a person and whether or not she's deserving of respect, but it's what she represents. She represents the problem with Twitch and how people are able to espouse radical talking points and be basically uncontested on their platform and be able to say things as crazy as this while there is an unequal application of rules. That's the biggest problem. I don't think the biggest problem is that she's doing all this shit and that she's like disrespectful and inconsistent and kind of a piece of shit, but it's that the equal and opposite force of this on the other side of the political spectrum gets suppressed and banned. That's the main issue. I think if it went both ways, then it's like, okay, you can talk about how bad she is and what her problem is, but at least she's not a double standard for Twitch. She is. That's the biggest issue I think I have.
escalated to the point where Frogan issued an apology on Twitter.
I think what makes her so hated is that you know she's also getting away with all of it, right? That no one else would be able to get away with this if they were on an opposite political spectrum. That's the issue, I think, right? Because what Asmongold said about Palestinians was similar in rhetoric to what she was saying about US military and how they should be dehumanized. Asmongold gets permabanned, and I think Asmongold's apology was genuine and sincere. I thought it was actually one of the most heartfelt apologies I'd seen. And she doubles down on her thing, which is equally radical, doesn't get banned. Or did she end up getting banned? I don't really remember. If she did, then that's good. But I know that she's still fully platformed and has been invited to several Twitch events, has been poster childed, all of these things. There is a clear double standard and the enforcement is so blatant.
The clip was worded poorly, and I do apologize for that. I go on to clarify in the clip that I do not mean all military, but specifically those with no remorse. What I said was out of frustration, as they are currently bombing
Right, so look at this.
my family in the name of liberation. I realize that wishing people harm isn't the best way to talk about these issues, and that I could have talked about these topics in a more sensitive way. Following this, Frogan shared
It's not even like a real apology.
direct messages from Twitter users attacking her, and though I disavow the messages she received, to me, Frogan sharing her DMs of people attacking her made it seem like she was trying to play the victim. Ultimately, Frogan received a 30-day Twitch suspension for her comments on the US military, and spent the day on Twitter retweeting statements like, "Twitch just banned some of the most prominent Middle Eastern voices simply for using their platform to speak about Palestine. Twitch, you're
Mind you, this was only taken action against because it was big enough. People made enough noise.
a racist platform and you don't even try to hide it," when in actuality, Frogan was banned for her comments on the US military.
Because, like, you know, you see the people at the top. I don't know if I believe in karma. You know what I mean? And I'm like, if I had to lose my career over this bullshit, at least I can say I was consistent in my views, and I have been consistently against genocide, and it consistently uplifted the Palestinian people. And I feel like such a bitch crying, but it's just like you sit and reflect, and it's just like, what the dude? There are some days I just sit and I'm just like, I'm just like, I'm like, what did I do to deserve this? You know what I mean?
Uplifted? You just yap at a mic all day. She's done absolutely nothing but endlessly annoy people and grandstand over oppression against other people.
Uplifting the Palestinian people is calling Ludwig a cracker for only giving $10,000 to her cause. Crazy.
People across the globe, just like her master Hassan. Fuck these LARPers, this content era needs to end now. On the 16th of April, iDubbbz made a content cop on Ethan Klein. Now, if you saw my previous video on iDubbbz, you would know I wasn't the biggest fan of Ian's video. Well, Frogan was involved in the making of the content cop, and once it was released, made several tweets about it, where once again, her takes were bad. Ethan Klein wants to defend Muslims because he's being held accountable in the content cop for continuously being a vile person. iDubbbz has apologized, shown genuine change over the last decade, and is literally married to a Muslim woman, by the way, because he's being held accountable in the content cop. Backstabbing a friend of 8 to 10 years is accountable now. Being a vile person who said American soldiers deserve PTSD, a day later said her statement was based and has yet to apologize sincerely. Shown genuine change over the last decade. Not in a good way, look at the Froggy Fresh situation. Muslim woman? She's 8% and I'm pretty sure she made a video claiming she left it half a decade ago. Frogan has built a reputation for being impulsive and outspoken, often doubling down on controversial statements instead of addressing criticism thoughtfully. Over time, she's become a central figure in—
And here's the problem, right? I don't think criticism needs to be addressed thoughtfully if the criticism isn't, like, serious. Like, for example, if you're being called, in my case, a slop content creator, it's like, what am I gonna say? Some people think it's slop, some people don't think it's slop. At the end of the day, it's content that you wanna watch. It's not that deep. It's not really something where you're involving the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. You are talking about serious political topics involving genocide and geopolitics. This is something where the criticism against you is going to be far heavier, no pun intended, because of the serious implications of your rhetoric and the ongoing like discourse. These are things that when levied criticism against you, it's usually because of an interest or involvement of a much greater topic, right? And so I think if you're a political person online, if you're a streamer or something, the criticism against you is usually against you as a symbol of an idea, right? The criticism against you is like, oh, when I'm giving criticism against Hassan, it's because of the implications of his content. It's because of him as a symbol, right? The criticism of him like 7 years ago or something was like, oh, he leaves the room when his video plays. Okay. Now it's that like, yeah, literally there's people like blowing up Waymos because of his content, and that's probably bad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's sort of where we are. I think if you get into like serious political coverage, which, you know, Frogan is deciding to do with the Israel-Palestine conflict, I do think you should be ready to engage in hard conversations and hard-hitting criticism about your coverage, because again, like, you are influencing the opinions of voters. You are influencing the opinions of people who are going to talk to other people, and therefore it's just like you're an influencer and you're going to influence people, and it's serious. when it's what you're talking about. So you should be ready to receive criticism and backlash if you fuck up or if you say something impulsively that's not true, right? Or if you're inflammatory.
Online drama, reacting emotionally to conflicts rather than engaging in meaningful discussion. From feuds with streamers like Ludwig and Ethan Klein to her political commentary, she frequently struggles to acknowledge when she's gone too far. Instead, she tends to reinforce her own views and portray herself as a victim when faced with backlash. In the end, her unfiltered approach has made her one of Twitch's most divisive personalities, more known for controversy than constructive conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Good video, really good video actually. It was a great watch.